All right, everybody. Welcome to the Contextual Christian Church Bible Study, where today we're going to read Isaiah chapter 37, verses 26 to 38. I'm going to pray it in. Everybody bow your heads. God, thank you for getting us up on this day to get into another day in Isaiah. And with this Bible study, as we're going through Isaiah, we've gotten reminders, we've gotten lessons. I pray that I pray that there's a new detail, something we haven't gotten into. I pray that this Bible study puts us in a different mindset, or that it may help us with certain things we're working on within our weeks, within our days, things that help us get closer to you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. So last time what we had gotten into really was just God's response to Rabshakeh. Because the overall, actually I should say above all situation that's happening is the kings of Assyria are talking smack to the children of Israel and God. Talking about who do you think God's going to save you? You think he's going to be able to beat me? Look at all these other gods. And then Hezekiah and Isaiah, through Isaiah, pleaded with God to try to get God to help, bringing up the possible impact how the kings of Assyria have gone into all these nations and they've destroyed their gods and stuff, but they weren't really gods. They were just idols. And showing the impact, like now knowing this God, like with this in mind, God, please come and do something so he doesn't have a way to try to say that you're not real when we know you're real. And the last part was God pointing out and saying how he is going to take care of them and he is going to defeat the kings of Assyria because of them blaspheming against God and saying that God is not capable and everything. And the very last part that we got into was in verse 23 and 24, where we had, in the midst of God saying that he's going to be beating them, he brings up with a sarcastic tone, who do you think you are? Speaking towards the kings of Assyria. How the kings of Assyria try to make these claims like their chariots have come up to the height of a mountain, like there's so many, that the sides of Lebanon will be to the sides of Lebanon and they will cut down the tall cedars, and that they have digged the well and drunk the water, and with the sole of his feet he has dried up the rivers of the besieged places. That's the most likely that. So we were talking about from that part, and that's the last thing that we read. So I'll go ahead and switch it to our first section so our first reader can read. Uh, Go ahead, Charles, when you're ready.
All right. I'll be reading Isaiah chapter 37, verses 26 to 30. Verse 26. Hast thou not heard long ago how I have done it, and of ancient times that I have formed it? Now have I brought it to pass, that thou shouldest be to lay waste defenced cities into ruinous heaps. Therefore their inhabitants were of small power. They were dismayed and confounded. They were as the grass of the field, and as the green herb, as the grass on the housetop, and as corn blasted before it be grown up. But I know thy abode, and thy going out, and thy coming in, and thy rage against me. Because thy rage against me, and thy tumult is come up into mine ears. Therefore will I put my hook in thy nose, and my bridle in thy lips, and I will turn thee back by the way by which thou camest. And this shall be a sign unto thee. Ye shall eat this year, such as groweth of itself, and the second year that which springeth of the same. And in the third year sow ye, and reap, and plant vineyards, and eat the fruit thereof. Starting off from my section, 26. It's connected in the sense of God's response, because it's still God talking, and God's response to Assyria, king of Assyria. But that's the only connecting, not not like a direct connection to 25, because in 25 he was talking about 24 and 25 was talking about what they said, how they were, they were talking about how powerful they were. But in 26, God's like, now he's digging deep in 26. So I'd say like same tree, different branch in the connection, but that's pretty much it.
This would be a good example of the above all is connected, but the direct point is not. Because in the last one, we're reading about what the kings of Assyria is claiming and his supposed evidence for how he's great. And in 26 is God putting this question back to her. Haven't you heard from long ago what I've done from ancient times?
Yeah.
So good. And then what about your sections?
Sections 26, first section. No, take that
Good.
back. No. Let me double check something before I confirm that.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 27. Therefore their inhabitants were of small power. They were dismayed and confounded. 26, first section. 27, second section. 28 and 29, third section. 30, fourth section.
Perfect.
All right.
Now, what's the
Yeah.
connecting points to give you that? You are correct, though.
For,
But
you're
28 and
talking about the
29, you
connected
said.
points there. Oh, for 28 and 29. So 28, God's talking
Well, for
about
all
how
of them, I said you connected 28 and 29, but I want you to give your connected points for all of them.
for all of them,
Why the ones that you said are disconnected? Why is it disconnected? The ones you said are connected, why are they connected?
so the ones that are disconnected. So 26 is just talking. That's that. Do you not know who I am? You not know I've built this. I've made this and made that. How I set this up. You not know who I am. But then 27 is talking about. Therefore, their inhabitants were of small power. It's made and confounded. They were as the grass of the field, as the green herb, as the grass on the. Oh, 27 is just giving us a visualization description of like their inhabitants. So like there, as in the Assyrians, their inhabitants, their power was small. They were dismayed.
The
Versus
Assyrians?
where it says, therefore their inhabitants were of small power.
Wrong
Because there
people.
couldn't have. It couldn't be the children of Israel.
You're correct about that too. But look at 26.
Now have I brought it to pass that thou shouldest be to lay waste the defense cities and into ruinous heaps.
The defenced cities and ruinous heaps. Therefore, their inhabitants were of small power. So, who's the people, the inhabitants of where? The
I think that
inhabitants
should
of
have.
the defense cities and ruinous heaps, Charles. It's literally right there.
No, let me reread it again real quick. Now have I brought it to
Hmm.
pass that thou shouldest be To lay waste defense cities and into that was throwing me off. That thou shouldest be to lay waste defense cities and into ruinous heaps. In that part, it sounds like he's saying it's you already were just you're not already, but you're destroying, as in the Assyrians are destroying defense cities and turning it into ruinous heaps.
No, not just that. How thou hast not heard long ago, how I have done it, and of ancient times, that I have formed it. I'm the one who set everything up, even of ancient times. I'm the one who formed everything.
Yeah, I
You
brought
don't
that up
know
earlier.
this? No,
Right.
no, no, no. Why did you interrupt? I was
Go ahead.
explaining something.
Oh, go ahead.
All right. Then he goes to say, now have I brought it to pass. So I'm the one that brought it to pass that you should be to lay waste defense cities into ruinous heaps. So when he says that, what is he saying?
I set that up. You didn't do it of your own volition. I did this. I set it
Exactly.
up.
So if it's not talking about you and it said, I set you up to lay waste to where? The defense cities into ruinous heaps. And then it says, therefore their inhabitants were of small power. So I made sure that their inhabitants had no power. That's how you know that I set it up for you to do so.
That's how you got the therefore there have it. I got it now.
You got it?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
said you
yeah.
got you said you got it?
As in I understand. I understand now.
Okay. Now, would the children of Israel be included in that?
No, because they haven't.
No.
Why would the children of Israel be included in this?
Now have I brought it to pass that thou shouldest be to lay waste defense cities into ruinous heaps. Was it not God that said in the other verses we've read that the children of Israel were going to fail and by God's hand?
We did.
Haven't we read where even when the neighbors around the children of Israel were able to defeat them, that it was because God wanted it to be so?
We did.
So then how could they not be possibly included in that? Why are we assuming they're not? They're not necessarily the only one, and they may not be the main topic here, but they're definitely possibly part of it. They're potentially part of it, that's for sure.
Possibly and potentially part of it. Yeah, you're right.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you can see how 26 and 27, when you said that they're not connected, I said, well, yeah, you are right. But I said, well, you got to know how they're connected. This is why knowing how they're connected makes such a difference. You see what I mean?
I see what you mean.
All right, then go ahead. How are 28 and 29 connected? And why is 30 separate?
Got it. 28 talks about God knowing I know where you're going and coming in, and I know what you're doing. And that's in your rage, this rage, this Hulk anger you have against me. So because of that rage, because of that anger, that wrath you have against me, and God's talking about what he's gonna the visualization we got into before about the hook in the nose, bridle, which is the little bridle was the thing for the goes in the horse's mouth.
Yep.
Treat him like a hook on the fish and treat him like an animal. So
Yep.
28 is
Directing you
talking
in the ways
about
to go.
talking about God knows basically everything about you and the rage against me, and because of your rage, this is what I'm gonna do to you. So those are connected in that.
Good.
Then verse 30, now verse 30 just talks about this is going to be the sign for them. And it just goes down to a sign, which is separate from what God is, well, not separate, but God already talked about the rage in verse 30. We're not getting into his rage. We're not getting into this. We're getting into the sign that tells you what's going to happen. This is the sign that's going to let you know that it's me doing this.
Exactly.
And it looks like I'll get to the verse 30 when it's time to explain. I'll bring that up later. But yeah,
All
that's
right.
the separation from the sections.
Good. Now then, go ahead with your explanation. That was good for the sections.
So for verse 26, God is talking about, you know who I am? Haven't you? Don't you know I'm the one that built all of this? Even way back then. I built all of this. I set all this up. I'm the one that put you in a position to lay waste to defense cities and turn it into just waste, ruinous. I set that up. I did all this. And the people, the inhabitants, they were of small power. They didn't have much power going on. I set that up. I did that. I made them as the grass of the field. He brought up they were as grass of the field, and as grass herb, as the grass on the housetop, and as corn blasted before it be grown up. These are weak, feeble things. What do we do with grass? We step on it. I'm not trying to disrespect it or nothing, but this is what grass is. Grass is for the animals. We step on it. We lay on it. We throw it in the trash can. God has made those inhabitants like that.
Exactly.
Now, verse 28 and 9, and God talked about, I know everything about you. I know where you're coming. I know where you're going. I know your rage against me. And because of that rage against me, um, let me double check something real quick.
No
I'm double
problem.
checking and thy tumult. Let me go to tumult. I need to explain that from H7599. Secure in a bad sense. Haughty.
Yeah, it's where everything's going wrong. Tumultuous comes from that word.
So because of your rage and thy tumult is come upon my ear. Um and I'm thinking of all the stuff that Rob Shake was saying about all the disrespect to Hezekiah and disrespect to the one true God. This God ain't gonna defend you. So God's saying, because of all of that stuff, raging your tumult, I'm gonna put a hook in your nose. Imagine a fish on a hook. And I'm gonna put a bridle in your mouth. Imagine that little stick that the horses gotta have in their mouth to control them when you want to go left and right. And I'm gonna turn you back to where you had came from. I'm gonna treat you like a fish on a hook, like a bridle with a horse, and I'm sending you back to where you had came from. Now, verse
Sounds a little
30,
bit racist.
coming from the black guy. Is that what it is?
You don't belong here. Go back to where you belong. We don't want your kind here.
I'm gonna be that Dave Chappelle. White power. I forgot about that. Now, verse 30, let me read it because this verse 30 threw me completely off with all of this. And this shall be a sign
Mhm.
unto thee. Ye shall eat this year, such as groweth of itself. So, the sign that they're going to have for the first year, you're going to eat such as groweth of itself. If you're
Yep,
growing of itself, then that's the whatever's out there. That's already, like the corn grows, the wheat, and things that grow of itself.
exactly. Things that grow of its own seeds.
Mm-hmm. And in the second year, that which springeth up the same. Oh, so you're just gonna second year, you're gonna be eating the same stuff. The stuff that's whatever wheat, whatever corn that can grow itself, whatever that stuff is, the crops and stuff, you're gonna be eating the same thing. But in the third year, sow ye and reap and plant vineyards and eat the fruit thereof. So in the third year, you're going to sow, you're going to reap, you're going to plant the vineyard. So you're going to plant, crop, do all that other stuff that farmers do when they're planting. Grow your vineyards and eat the fruit. feel like I'm missing something.
Why?
Because there's
What do you feel
nothing.
like you're missing?
It only because it throws me off from God's tone 26, then 27, then 28, 29, and then 30. It just threw me off.
Well,
There's nothing I can add to it. I don't know what else to add. I don't know what else to say to it. That's my at the end of
no,
my
it's the fact that
explanation.
it's incomplete. That's why you feel like there's something missing. You don't have the meaning behind the sign.
Which
You
is
just have
why
the
it
fact
sounds
that
like
the
it.
sign is going to exist.
And I did say earlier, it sounds like it continues on. There's going to be more to this, but yeah, no,
Yeah.
it throws me
You know
off.
that
So yeah,
feeling you're having right now? That's how I feel in a conversation where there's not a goodbye. You ever had a conversation end on dead air?
yeah, I've had that before.
That's pretty much what this feels like.
Oh,
That's what
okay,
it makes me think of. Because it's like we're right in the middle of it, but we haven't got to it.
right.
You can't end a conversation without saying goodbye. You can't bring up that there's going to be sign and not tell us what the sign is going to mean. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
All right. Now, that was good on the explanation. There's nothing really to add to that. So, do you have any comments or questions about the first section as we go to the second section? Now would be the time to raise your hand. All right. Then I'll go ahead and read the second section. Give everybody a second. All right. Isaiah chapter 31. So chapter 37, verse 31. All right. And the remnant that is escaped out of the house of Judah shall again take root downward and bear fruit upward. For out of Jerusalem shall go forth the remnant, and they that escape out of Mount Zion. The zeal of the Lord of the hosts shall do this. Therefore, thus saith the Lord concerning the king of Assyria: He shall not come into this city, nor shoot an arrow there, nor come before it with shields, nor cast a bank against it. By the way that he came, by the same shall he return. And he shall not come again into the city, saith the Lord. For I will defend this city to save it, for mine own sake, and for my servant David's sake. All right. Obviously, is 31 connected? Yes. So the fact that they're going to be able to eat the same for the upcoming 2-3 years, we got what the sign means. That's in 31. Then in 32, that is connected to 31. It's continuing giving the reason why or how it's going to go about. And 33 is connected to 32 because it's explaining even further how it's going to take place. And 34 is separate, though it is minority connected, but it's not majority, because the overall point of 34 is about the turning away of the king of Assyria. Whereas 31 to 33 is all about how God is going to work it to where the children of Israel are going to be saved from the king of Assyria. So it's a separate detail, even though it is connected. And then 35 is not connected to 34 because it's more connected to 33 than it is 34. Now, you could say the above all point, they're all connected. But when we get to the direct main point, that's where 34 is a separate verse. But it's the only one in the group that's a separate verse. Does that make sense, Charles?
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm glad. Even though I'm in the car, I wrote down the above all overall direct main. I got it in front of me. This is a lot easier to bring up when we're doing this. Like when times where it's like it does connect for like the above all, but not the direct main. This helps out a lot better than before.
Okay, I'm glad. Because I just thought of that last time. I was like, as a good tool. But you don't
Mhm.
know how well it's going to help until you actually use it next time.
Because some sections it won't there is no connection, but in like this one it's we have the same tree different branch kind of thing going on, so this helps out a lot.
Good, good. All right, now go ahead into explaining them. So for 31 to 33, God is going to be the one defending the city, and the what the meaning of the sign is going to be that the leftover of the ones that escaped from the house of Judah, they're going to be able to take down root again. In other words, they're going to be able to build up and be able to have more reproducing of people. And in 32, it says how. For out of Jerusalem shall go forth a remnant. So they may be from the house of Judah, but they're going to be leaving out of Jerusalem, and they're going to escape to out of Mount Zion. And then in 33, that because the Lord says this concerning the king of Assyria, he's not going to come into the city. He's not going to shoot an arrow. This is pointing out, simplified, that the king of Assyria is not going to be able to even come close to the city because God has said this, because God is doing this. And then 34, we go into, like I said, slight connection to it, but not the main point. That not only is he not going to be able to come into the city, he's going to go back the way he came. And the reason why is given in 35. He's going to go back the way he came because God is defending the city and God is saving the people. But God also points out a very important point, not by what he says, but why he does not say in 35. So, Charles, what point has God pointed out in 35 by the way he said or did not say something?
um Let me think about that.
I'll give you 15 seconds.
I got you.
All right, time's up. He didn't point out the children of Israel, Charles. He got real specific with it too. He pointed out the house of David for not even the house of David. He pointed out for David's sake and for God's own sake. By not bringing up the children of Israel and instead pointing out David's sake more specifically and for God's own sake, he is, by process of elimination, letting the children of Israel know this is not anything to do with you. This has nothing to do with you. You are not part of the cause at all. I don't give a damn what happens to you. It's kind of like, as a good example, Charles, if you had 3 kids, you had a daughter, you had a son who always listened to you, and you had another son who's rebellious. And the daughter's name is Jasmine. The son who always listens to you is named Jake. And the other son who's always rebellious is named Dylan. And you go out of your way to say that we're going to be going to Disneyland this year. And we're going because of Jake's sake and because of mine. What are you saying by leaving out the other names? You're letting them know that they are a problem and that this blessing has nothing to do with them by the fact you left out their names intentionally. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, my mom's actually done that before. When I used to always be in punishment. When we went out and did something for fun, we're doing it because Chad hasn't been out to have fun in a while.
Oh, okay.
Not because I want to do the stuff, because this is stuff I want to do, but we're doing it because Chad.
Right.
Chad ain't been out to
Right.
have fun. Like the arcades. I'm an arcade guy. I'm the video game guy, but we're doing it for Chad.
Exactly. Like, I just want you to know this has nothing to do with you. You're not in the right or good at all. All right. Now then, any comments or questions as we go to the final section? Now would be the time to raise your hand. You know what I almost said? I almost said raise your name. Makes no sense at all. All right,
What
check
would
the
be funny is if
hands.
you said it, I didn't say nothing, and then you re-listen to it.
Yeah, exactly. If I didn't notice and I did that, oh, that'd be hilarious.
I can't believe I said that.
All right, Brody, then go ahead and finish us out when you're ready.
I'll be reading Isaiah chapter 37, verses 36 to 38. Verse 36. Then the angel of the Lord went forth and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 185,000. And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses. So Sennacherib, king of Assyria, departed and went and returned and dwelt at Nineveh. And it came to pass, as he was worshiping in the house of Nisroch, let me double check that. Oh, it is Nisroch, his god, that Adramelech, Adramelech, Adramelech. Could I say Adramelech or would that be Adramelech?
Well, look it up. Where's the dash at?
AD-RAM -MEH.
Then it would not be a drum because that would be DR dash, right?
So it'd be
That would be
Adram,
Adramelech.
Adramelech.
Well, no, not Adram. Did it say AHD?
Just AD.
Then that'd be Ad.
Ad,
Remember, for it
Ad,
to be the ah in the phonetic, it'll have something that spells out the sound. So if it's ah, it'll have AH or AW, something like that. If it doesn't have an AHD, then it's not odd. It's ad because it's doing the
Adramelech. Okay.
phonetic of the English. So how the letters sound when you look at them from an English perspective. So that would actually be pronounced Adramelech. Look at the second A. How does that look in the phonetic?
So AD-RAM. So RAM. So Adramelech.
Yep, Adramelech. See what I'm
That
saying?
mm-hmm. That Adramelech and Sharezer, his sons, smote him with the sword, and they escaped into the land of Armenia. Let me double check that. Armenia. Ararat. So the phonetic on this one's totally different. AR-AW-RAT.
See what I'm saying? It has the AW there, right?
It does.
So how would you do that then?
Well, because it's different, it's a because so the phonetic is AR-AW-RAT, but the word doesn't have a W, or it's just ARMENIA. So I was thinking,
AR dash A what?
let me go to phonetic. AR-AW-RAT. So the phonetic has
Oh, Ararat.
R R R R words R,
Ararat.
which is different
You
than
are a rat. That's a good way to think of it.
yeah, which is different than like Armenia,
It
because the
might be
word
because
is
it's the same place. Remember
mm,
Kush? that was actually Ethiopia.
Yeah.
Look up Armenia on the internet and then look up Ararat and like where they are in the Middle East. I would not be surprised if they're the same place. Mount Ararat, that's where Noah's Ark was found, that they still won't let us excavate.
Well, that sucks because when I type it in, it keeps talking about West Asia.
Western Asia is the Middle East.
Is it?
Yeah, Middle East is in between Europe and Asia.
Oh,
So
okay.
Western Asia, Eastern Europe, that's where they meet. North Africa.
Um,
Like if something says that in your heritage you have North African, that's not specific. So you could potentially be meaning Middle Eastern, you could be potentially mean Saharan.
mhm.
You see what I'm saying? There's different ways it could go.
Borders Turkey West, Georgia North,
Hmm. Now
Azerbaijan.
look up where Armenia is located, the land of
That
Armenia.
that was Armenia.
Oh, look up Mount Ararat.
Make sure I spell it right.
Now I thought you were reading from the Ararat, so I can guarantee you it's the same place.
Peak in Turkey.
See what I'm saying? As
Yeah,
soon as you said in Turkey, I was like, oh, it's the same place. Because I
yeah,
already knew where
border
Mount
Turkey.
Ararat was.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
And let me go to this word. Let me go to finish this word real quick. And
Mm-hmm.
Asar Hadan. Asar, oh, Kaddan. Asar, oh no, yeah. Oh no, Asar Ha. Sorry. Asar Hadan. Haddan. His son reigned in his stead. So my section, starting off, 36 is the direct main point's different, but we got this is God's the above all is the same because we got what God's angel doing. He said he was going to come against the Assyrians, and here he is doing it. So yeah, the above all is connected, but the direct main point is different because now we're actually getting into the destruction in verse 36. Um, keep going. Huh, that's interesting.
That was so weird.
It
My
booted you off, didn't
T-Mobile,
it?
yeah, my T-Mobile straight cut off.
It did that to me. What's funny is I was on the Wi-Fi and it did that to me yesterday. It might be Zoom. I truly believe that was Zoom.
No, I watched my data go down.
Oh, okay.
Like my 5G, I watched it go down. It was
Okay.
weird.
You want me to repeat what I was talking about?
Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 36, I has it as I was saying that
I
because it's
has it.
I has it. It's the direct main point is different, but the above all is the same because in verse 36 we got the destruction.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's the connection. Like the connect that's the connection that I got for it. And for 36, let me see, 36 I have as a section. 37, 38 is a section. So two sections.
Good. The above all is overly connected. Um the overall is connected, but the direct point is separate because of how they timed it out in the verses. Which one
Mhm.
came first? Good.
And for
That is
36,
so funny though, timing wise. But go ahead with your explanation.
all right. Verse 36, the angel of God is going to the camp of the Assyrians, and he killed 104 score. It's been a while since we did numbers. Four score. Scores 20, 480. So 180, 180, and 5,180 men.
Charles.
But I got
No.
that number wrong?
It says 100 and four score and 5,000. Not 104 score, comma, and 5,000.
100, four
That
score. That's 180. So we got the 180 part.
and 5. 185. Why are you separating it? There's no comma there to separate it.
Let me see. 185,000. Sorry about that. It's been a while
There
since
you
we
go.
counted. 185,000. That's a lot.
That makes
Yeah.
a massive difference from 5,185.
Yeah. To 185,000. Yeah. Massive difference.
Just a
And
wee little bit.
yeah. And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses. So God's angel destroyed it overnight. Get up in the morning, there's just dead bodies everywhere.
Exactly.
So the
Exactly.
so the king of Assyria, he leaves and goes back to Nineveh with verse 37. Then verse 38, he's worshiping in the house of Nisroch, whatever that god is. He's worshiping it there. And his two sons had killed him. Adramelech and Sharezer, his sons, had ended up killing him with the sword. They escape. They go to the land of Armenia or Ratarat.
Ararat.
Ararat. And
You are a rat.
you are a rat. After
If
those
you
two
think about
sons,
that, take out the word you. That's a good way to look at it to be able to pronounce properly. Ararat. You are a rat. Ararat. See what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
I use that phrase a lot when I'm teaching.
Next, after the two sons escaped that killed him, his other son, Esarhaddon, had ended up being king in his stead. And yeah, that's all I need to say to that one. It's interesting that we ended it on that. We ended the chapter on that.
I don't even think how it ends is the interesting part. I think that the beginning of 38 is the most interesting.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
No. You got to get into it now because you never brought it up. You don't get it, do you?
You
It
said
is a
how
very big deal. Beginning of
the
what's so
beginning
big about it?
of the next chapter.
No, verse 38. I just said that.
Let me bring this up. I don't remember us talking about him worshiping another god. That's one thing I'm thinking about. Separate from the two sons killing them. That sounds familiar, but him
No.
worshiping
Oh.
another. Oh, so what was the thing I didn't bring up out of this?
Oh, so funny, bro, that you missed it. It's so hilarious that it happened. Not that you missed it alone, but the fact that what was the king of Assyria doing this entire time? Charles, what has he been doing? This entire time that we've been reading, the last couple studies, what has he been doing? The above all.
Talking crap to the one true God.
Yeah. Yeah. He's been talking crap about God's people, the leadership more specifically, and he's been talking crap about God himself. And then God's timing is so pristine that when he dies, he's in the middle of worshiping another God. Of all times, God could have had him killed. He could have been on the toilet. He could have been in dinner. He could have been in the camp readying for war. So many other places that God could have had him killed. But you had him killed when he was in the middle of worshiping a God. And his whole shtick this whole entire time has been telling the children of Israel that their leadership is nothing to him and that their God is nothing to him. That's why that's so important and interesting. The timing of when God has him killed, where he's at when he's doing it, considering everything he has said and his main points. You see what I'm saying?
Now I see what you're saying.
So it's not the fact that it's another God, it's the timing that he was in the middle of worship when he died. Of all times. All right. Now then, any comments or questions before we pray out the Bible study portion? Now would be the time to raise your hands. All right. Everybody go ahead and bow your heads. Father, thank you for being the one true God. Provably so, the one true God. You don't need to have evidence. You really don't. You created everything. You really don't need to, but you did anyways. And when situations like this came up, you drowned out the noise by your sheer power and your sheer wisdom and proved that you are God. Not once, not twice, but many, many times. And so we just pray, God, that throughout our life, we can keep that in mind. Not just the fact that you are God, but how loving of a God you are, that even though it should never have been required and you never needed to do so, you still saw fit to prove yourself. So we didn't just have to take you at your word. And we thank you for that, God. And we're sorry for the fact that any nation or any people have ever, and including individuals in America and everywhere, that ever doubt you. Because it's not like you haven't proved yourself time and time and time and time again all throughout history. And you deserve better than that. So, God, we apologize on their behalfs. And we ask for forgiveness for the times where we didn't stand firm in faith in you. Because you've done too much. So we thank you and we praise you for just being who you are and doing all that you've done. In your Son's holy and precious name, Jesus Christ Yeshua. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Now then, tonight's Bible listening. Get down to it. Jeremiah chapter 47 to Lamentations chapter 3. Jeremiah chapter 47 to Lamentations chapter 3. Let me know when you got it, Charles.
Got it.
All right. Now, go ahead and last night's listening was Jeremiah chapter 33 to 46. And Charles, you go ahead and go first. As a matter of fact, because I was working on all the uploads and everything, trying to get them up to date, and then listening, watching anime and stuff, with everything going on, I didn't actually do the listening for today's. So I'm not going to lie and say that I have. I don't want to go back down that path staying that way. So you'll be the only one pointing out what listen to you, and I'll do my two tonight. Well, thing there three.
I got you. Go to Jeremiah. Why did I say go to? Jeremiah chapter 36, verses
Because
1
you're
to 8.
prepping to be a leader.
This is what I got on my notes for Jeremiah chapter 36, verses 1 to 8.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah is telling Baruch to write all the words of the Lord from God to Jeremiah, not to Jeremiah, to write these down on a roll, like a little scroll, like a book.
Yeah.
Jeremiah, say it again.
Which chapter?
Oh, Jeremiah chapter 36, verses 1 to 8.
36. All right, go ahead.
Jeremiah also told him that he couldn't go into the house of God. And Baruch is reading and retelling the words that he wrote down to the children of Israel. And when I'm thinking about this, I'm glad I wrote it down. I'm thinking about which I'm glad we went through the Bible study for, because I didn't know any of this until we did the Bible study. When Moses is passing the torch to Joshua, I'm thinking of that. And I'm also thinking, which I should have wrote that down. I think it was in Ezekiel when we read that they were reading the words of God, the Mosaic law. They were reading it to all the children of Israel, and people were listening and all of that. I should have wrote that down too. It makes me think of that as well.
Yeah. Because they're pointing out they didn't just read it to them, they made sure they understood the context.
Mm-hmm.
Which is so funny considering it all. But yeah, go ahead and continue.
That's what stuck out for me. Just that one.
Oh, okay. The only thing that I'll add to this is the fact that it goes to show that same point over and over again. God desires faithful people. But part of being faithful is knowing what's okay and what's not okay. And how do we know what's okay and what's not okay? By the word and the epistles. That's how. Somebody gets a revelation. How do we know if the revelation is accurate? Does it line up with the word and the epistles? Some church try to say that they've been hearing the word from God, they've been prophesying. How do we know if it's accurate? Does it line up with the word and the epistles? And don't get it twisted. Let me say this too. Somebody can have a false prophecy or a false telling where they line up with the word for the moment. But that doesn't mean they'll stay that way. Because as I've learned through experience, do you know why I stayed at churches as long as I did, Charles? And why I didn't leave the first thing when I got there? You know why?
Go ahead.
Because they were accurate at first. That's why. They didn't show their falsities until months in. Because they would stick to the same nice, oh, it sounds so wonderful type of subjects that are backed up by the verses they were using. And so I stopped looking at them, checking the verses, because they had shown me they knew the word in other ones. So I was like, oh, I could trust them. No, you need to check it every time. Because when I went back and started checking later on, after I started having problems, when I would read and see something, 90% of the stuff that they brought up after I had started trusting them, those were the ones that they were doing falsely. And I didn't know because I was trusting them because they had shown me that they were about their word in context at first. So that's the other part that it makes me think of. Just because somebody brings the word to you at first, just because they're accurate at first, don't let that trip you up in thinking they're going to always be accurate. Check everything. And not just to make sure they're not false. How can I say I love you as a brother if I don't care if the word you've been preaching is false word? It's not love. That's selfishness. That's me trying to avoid problems. The Bible doesn't say not to have a divisions, period. It says not to have divisions that are contrary to the doctrine. That's what it says not to have divisions of. But we are called to be divided against sin and against false doctrines. We are not supposed to be united in false doctrines and in sin. So that's what that makes me think of. Now then, Charles, do you have any other thing you want to add or say before we close it out?
No.
All right, then I'll go ahead and close this out. I'm probably going to call you in a second, though.
I was about to say, I'll call you back.
All right.